So what's poppin'? Alright, well, hello everybody. Welcome to my first official stream. Kind of cool to look back at the very beginning and see how I've progressed as both a streamer and content creator. For instance, let's look at how my first stream ever went. You know what's funny? And actually, I'm gonna leave that in there. I had the audio off the whole time. Versus to where I'm at now. Oh my god, DMano, your mic is really quiet. Is it to stop the echo?
Is it quiet? Is your mic not on?
My mic was never even on, bro.
No.
Well, not much has changed. But anyway, hello. I'm DManoSG and I've officially been a Twitch streamer and content creator for the past 2 years. I'm making this video because I want to share my thoughts and experiences from these past years in hopes that it may help somebody else or just maybe help find a mutual understanding with others. I'm gonna break this video down into segments so I can keep my thoughts organized and so that you can find access to information easier. And hopefully I don't forget to add timestamps somewhere in this video. In this video, I'll talk about everything in this order, starting with number 1, first year of streaming and content creation, number 2, second year of streaming, number 3, streamer Twitter, number 4, content creation across platforms, number 5, analytics, and then lastly, number 6, my final thoughts about being a streamer and content creator for these past 2 years. Let's begin, shall we? My first year of streaming and content creation was just to help me get comfortable with streaming and making content. I didn't really network or even watch other streamers at all when I first started out. I wanted to make sure that I could at least chat with people while still being at least decent at whatever game I was playing. A lot of my first group of viewers, supporters, and inner circle were generally just family and friends helping me get started with all of this. I wasn't really expecting anyone to watch me at all. They helped me reach affiliate status on Twitch pretty quick, which can be a tough milestone to reach for other people streaming on the Twitch platform. Everything was good, well, for a while. Around March of 2021, my girlfriend Cassie got a new job and had to move, which inevitably helped me make the decision to find new work and move in with her at her new spot. Streaming and content creation was pretty much non-existent for like a month, so I could focus on the transition. During this time period, a lot of my streaming friends I made completely stopped streaming and or stopped making content altogether. When I was finally able to start streaming again, my usual group of family and friends became smaller. They either just got busy or tired of the content I was producing. I was starting to stream to an average viewership of like 4 people a stream at this point, and it was starting to get to me. I knew I was gonna have to make a change to improve things, otherwise I would stay in the state of despair. So around my 1-year anniversary mark, I finally decided it was time to meet other people. Now I know I mainly talked about streaming, but I'll briefly touch on the content creation side of things. My content views were extremely low across all platforms at this point. I was just starting out. I didn't know most of the tricks on social media, and most of my content was kind of just centered around focusing traffic back to my Twitch site. Things did get much better for content creation on most platforms, but I'll touch on this later. Now, let's talk about my second year of streaming. So what's poppin', everybody? Second year of streaming was the year I finally decided to get out of my comfort zone and finally start meeting other people on the streaming and content creation journey as well. I was interested in growing, and in order to grow, you need to make some friends. I was meeting people, all sorts of people, especially people who also wanted to grow too. And if I supported them, they would support me, and we would all grow together! Yeah, that's right. I started out in a support for support circle. Now, for those of you who don't know what support for support circles are, let me just tell you, it's usually helmed by one main streamer who promises absolute growth and pure friendship with everybody involved within the community. Now, if people had pure intentions and didn't care about using others, these types of communities would be amazing to be a part of. But inevitably, it just causes people within the community to only focus about numbers and only getting support no matter what, whether you like the content or not. When the viewership is booming, the community is booming. But what happens is once the support stops, then the whole pyramid scheme just tends to collapse. And the only person who really benefits from any of this is the main streamer who's the leader of the community. They're the only person who gets the massive following, that gets the massive viewership, and everyone else kind of just dwindles out. They either get what they wanted from this community, or they just stop because they realize, oh, we're not all getting fair support here, as promised by said leader of the community. If you can, if you're just starting out, or if you're still trying to find some people, please avoid these types of people promising you growth by joining their community. Try to avoid them as best as you can, is my first piece of advice right here, right now. I will say though, I did meet some good people through this community at first, and I don't believe everybody involved with these communities are bad people. I think they're just naive like I was. Strangely, just getting out there with this group did help me in some ways. It did help me get over the fear of just meeting others on the streaming platform and getting comfortable chatting. I did actually come across some wonderful, talented, and overall good people that I still talk with to this day. Each and every single one of these individuals have helped me become a better streamer and a better person overall. Just by consistently chatting with these people, actually enjoying the content they provide, and actually caring about who they are beyond streaming and content creating is when I realized this is how you properly network and actually have a good time during this whole process. Now, I know it sounds cliche saying you should actually care about others, but I can't tell you how many people put on a good front about this. I've lost count of the number of people I've came across who preach openly about caring about others to just gain a following. Which brings me to the next topic, streamer Twitter. Whoa, where do I begin with this? Streamer Twitter. It took me years as well to get comfortable just voicing my opinion about pretty much anything on Twitter. Twitter to me feels like it's a place that kind of preaches compassion, understanding, and mental health, until those same people who claim to preach about those things find a way to twist your opinions in the worst way to drag you for moral fiber or being a better person. I kind of took a step back to look at streamer Twitter as a whole. Streamer Twitter is riddled with streamers trying to farm engagement and boost their posts by any means necessary, whether it's fake, generic, copy and pasted inspirational tweets, being a streaming guru, or just farming engagement by staying in drama or chasing clout any way they can. Like, take these tweets, for example. This is but a small example of what you can see on the daily on streamer Twitter. Generic, copy and pasted tweets that people reuse to gain easy likes. And oh boy, let's not forget about those farming engagement tweets. Like look at this. You'll notice a pattern with these very shortly. And plot twist, they're from the same account. I'm telling you now, these types of people do not care about whatever answer you provide. They're only looking for you to drive their engagement up. Don't get me wrong, not everybody, of course, on this platform is a bad person. Same thing I said about the support for support group and just any group in general. There's always going to be good people and bad people. Streamer Twitter can be a place to network just like any other platform too. There are a few people I love engaging with on there who are trying to share an actual thought. Like, you can actually see it, and they share a little bit of their personality too. But it massively gets overshadowed by people just trying to use other streamers to build up their reputation. I kind of find the majority of streamer Twitter pretty gross. So let's finally focus on the content creation side of things by focusing all the content I put out across these social media platforms. And let's start with the biggest social media platform out there, Meta, formerly known as Facebook. Pass. Now let's talk about Instagram. Creating content for Instagram was easy since I was just converting horizontal clips to fit Instagram's size. First year views were averaging about 60-ish when I first started posting, and then my views dipped to about an average of 30-ish per vid. This dip actually occurred because I tested out not using hashtags. Once I added them back in, views climbed back up. To this day, I still utilize proper hashtags. Views have actually been climbing, especially after converting all my vids into Instagram Reels, Instagram's version of TikToks. But as of a very recent update, Instagram has become very unbearable for me. Instagram's forcing people to look at posts, like scroll through them like one at a time, very much like TikTok, but not as fast. And to me, I believe that's a terrible move. And as for followers I've gotten on Instagram, I'm not gonna lie here, the majority of the following I got on Instagram was from following like lots of accounts during my support for support days. Even with posting Instagram Reels like 3 times a week, my following has stayed about the same since I stopped just following random people on Instagram. I'm not abandoning this platform just yet because I know sponsorships still look at data from like Instagram and use it as a tool to still advertise products. So I would suggest still posting content on Instagram as of right now, which is what, July 24th, 2022. My viewership for posting any content on Twitter at first was so bad. I really didn't know how to use the platform at first and was just link posting about my streams and using hashtags, which really weren't effective on Twitter. Once I started engaging in Twitter posts with other streamers and just actually talking with people and then building my own engagement, my viewership on my clips rose tremendously. I average about maybe 90 views per video I drop on Twitter right now. Now, that might not sound like a high average to you, but please understand this. It was hard to pull that average up from when I was dropping videos up there that were averaging 3 views a video, which to me, looking back at it, is really sad, but then again, I was just an up-and-coming content creator and streamer. I didn't know what I was doing. But as for gaining followers on Twitter, a lot of my followers actually came from my streams, or they actually came from these skits I dropped like a couple months ago. I actually kind of learned by doing this, a lot of people actually respect the comedy that I do in short form media. And so I kind of want to return doing more skits in the future. I didn't utilize TikTok right at the start out of just pure ignorance, thinking it was the dancing app. Eventually I began using TikTok, and out the gate, TikTok provided more viewership numbers than any platform I was using. I was seeing numbers as high as 600 to 700 on my first post. Then one TikTok blew up past 100k views. I felt like I just struck gold by finally starting to use TikTok. I kept posting and numbers remained high. But then they dropped down to 200 and became stagnant at 200. Turns out that reusing hashtags back to back on TikTok really starts to hurt your exposure on the platform. Well, at least for me it did. I was stuck in this view range until I finally started switching my hashtags around. Slowly but surely, viewership picked up. Nothing near that 100k number, but at least averaging higher than 200 on particular posts. Hover, the app for streamers. So let's talk about it. The premise of Hover is that it shares your clips with only streamers on the Twitch platform. If you like a particular streamer's clips, you can instantly click a button that will take you to their Twitch account so you can follow their Twitch directly. Now, this works for pure-hearted streamers who truly do enjoy other streamers' content. But what ends up happening is that most streamers are not really interested in growing an audience of mainly other streamers. It's hard to have a consistent audience when we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to grow our following and focus on what we're doing as well. I like the concept of the app, but the execution of everything only works when the audience use it as purely as it is intended for. And if you didn't start early on this app before they changed how their algorithm worked, it was brutal. Like, you were never going to be on the main page. You were so far behind. And to be honest, I only upload content to Hover to just cover more ground for exposure. Viewership still averages about 15 views per video whenever I drop them on Hover, and I still gain a small but consistent following on the app as well. Last but not least, YouTube. YouTube for me is just a place to document and store my whole streaming and content creation journey. I'm thankful I did this at the very beginning too, because everything I've done so far is right here. You could on YouTube, you could watch everything I've done since day one. Even the terrible stream I did with no game audio, it's still here. It still exists. And I think it's just cool to watch a streamer's journey or content creator's journey from beginning to end. With all that being said, my viewership on YouTube isn't really the best. Well, at least for like my long duration videos, like all the VODs I'm putting on YouTube. When YouTube introduced Shorts, I jumped on the opportunity fast after not utilizing TikTok or Instagram Reels when they first came out. Whenever these media platforms introduce a new feature, you're gonna want to use it as fast as possible. They're gonna push that content more in hopes that the feature will succeed. Once I started uploading my TikTok videos as Shorts, my YouTube content started seeing numbers they have never seen before. Plus, the Shorts helped build my subscriber count tremendously. I'm not sure how long Shorts are going to be here or how effective they're going to be in the long run, but I am forever thankful I jumped on an opportunity as fast as I could, because I was not gaining any traction on YouTube whatsoever until I started posting Shorts on this platform. But now it's time for everyone's favorite part, analytics. Before I begin, I will say gathering all these analytics was not easy. I had to go back month by month on certain media platforms to gather all this data. I was going to gather more data outside of just followers and viewership, but in reality, I think everyday people like you and I only care about those numbers, whereas sponsors will look at reach and impressions as well. Viewership at least calculates the data of people who even watched a second of your clip or content you put out there on most of these websites. So at least that counts for something, whereas reach is they could just see it, scroll by it, and they'll give you a doc. Like, they'll give you a point for saying, oh, you at least saw it on your timeline. I kind of don't like that data at all. All right, so let's look at the data that I have gathered from all the platforms, and let's start with Facebook. Facebook, I'm gonna go through very fast. I have 203 followers, and as for viewership, I was unable to get that data because after they switched to Meta, it kind of wiped out viewership count, and I would have to go way far back. And to be honest with you, my following on Facebook is something I really just don't care about, so we're just gonna say I have 203 followers on Facebook. Let's switch over to Instagram. At Instagram, I have 808 followers total right now, and a total of 75,958 views across all videos for the past 2 years. Looking at Twitter's data, I have 692 current followers with 38,310 views on all my content on the platform so far. TikTok, I have 615 followers with over 402,333 views as we speak of right now. Hover, I have 239 followers with 4,675 views altogether. Twitch, I have 766 followers with 5,076 views across all my streams and VODs that I've done for the past 2 years. And last but not least, YouTube, I have 396 subscribers with 174,022 current views on the platform. With all that being said, with all the data that I've just gathered and shared with you in public, I have accumulated over 3,719 followers across all these platforms, and I have 700,374 views across all the platforms as well. Now, why am I showing you all this? What am I trying to say with all these numbers? Honestly, I'm not trying to tell you anything right now. I did this mainly for myself. I never really looked at analytics on all platforms until I was making this video, and honestly, I'm really impressed with the following I have, and especially with the views I have had for these past 2 years. I'm not some verified streamer or content creator. I'm not partnered on Twitch, nor am I partnered on YouTube or any other platform. What these numbers do tell me, and hopefully tells others, is that people have been watching and are watching my content. You don't have to respect me, but you can't disrespect the hustle that I put in thanks to all this data. And to newcomers and any of my streaming peeps and content creating peeps who are watching this video, have faith that people out there will eventually find your content and find it entertaining as well. And who knows, you're probably doing better than me or can do better than me than what I've done in these past 2 years. So I'm honestly rooting for you too, as long as you have faith in your content. So just some final thoughts about being a streamer and content creator for these past 2 years. It's been both a good and interesting experience to say the least. I've been blessed that I haven't had any weird issues or strange altercations with other people like my streaming friends have. Also blessed that I've had people who consistently come by and they enjoy the streams and they actually like the content I put out on social media. Do I love doing this? Of course. I wouldn't keep making content like this or continuing streams if I wasn't in a good space mentally. And again, a huge shout out to anyone who has supported me in the past or is continuing to support me right now. I say this all the time, but if I didn't have a good group of people supporting me and cheering me on throughout all of this, I wouldn't continue being the DManoSG you see today. I am forever thankful for any of you for even just taking a second out of your day to even appreciate anything I've done. I cannot thank you enough for even just checking out the content in the first place. Lastly, to any streamer or content creator who may be watching this, believe in the work that you do. Don't let analytics or and even some of your peers try to downplay the work you're putting in. You have to truly believe in the quality of the work that you're doing, and you have to understand this as early as possible, that your content or art will not be for everybody. And if you can't believe in yourself, well, believe in me. Believe in the DManoSG that believes in you. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.